Hello students, greetings of the day. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss the types and the metrics of requirement. So within this lecture, we are going to discuss the types and metrics of requirement and the another subtopic, that is metrics for specifying non-functional requirement. So in today's lecture we are going to cover the following two subtopics. Okay, so let us start with the types and the metrics of requirement. In the previous some lectures, we just have classified our software requirements into different classifications, just like user requirements and your system requirements. We also classified our requirements as a functional requirement and the non-functional requirement. But the classification that we have discussed in the previous lectures, the classification of these different types of requirement is not very much clear according to the definitions of requirement. So the software measures can be understood as a process of quantifying and the symbolizing various attributes and the aspect of softwares. The software, the quality of software can be measured or can be understood with the help of the process. It is nothing but quantifying. We are going to quantify, or we are going to see the quality of our project with the help of quantity, and sometimes we can also have the symbolizing various attributes and the aspects of our software. So we can use such a kind of processes for the software quality measurement. The software metrics are going to provide us the measures for various aspects of software process as well as software product. The metrics that we are going to learn in today's lecture, under this software metrics, these metrics are going to allow us to measure the various aspects of our software process and the software product. These software measures are the fundamental requirements of software engineering. All those software measures that we are going to discuss in today's lecture are very important, and those measures are going to be very important in our software quality. And with the help of these software quality attributes or software quality requirements, it is a very important part of our software engineering process. They do not only help to control the software development process, but also they help us to keep quality of our software product excellent. With the help of these different kind of matrices or metrics, quality metrics, we can say that the metrics of those requirement, we can measure the quality of our software, the process, and that software quality and that process quality can be controlled with the help of these metrics. These metrics are also going to help us to keep the quality of our product excellent. So this is nothing but types and metrics of our requirement. Then next is there, that is the metrics for specifying the non-functional requirement. We all know that, or we already have discussed the functional requirements and the non-functional requirement. We can have test cases over our functional requirement, but how we can going to specify the quality of non-functional requirement? So to measure this quality of our non-functional requirement, we are going to have different kind of metrics. Those are the metrics which are going to specify the non-functional requirement, whether we have achieved that non-functional requirement or not, or at what extent we have achieved that non-functional requirement can be defined or can be analyzed with the help of this non-functional with the help of this metrics which are going to use for this specifying the non-functional requirement. We all know that we can write the non-functional requirements, and these non-functional requirements can be tested. We can also test those non-functional requirements. The following are some of the matrices that can be used to specify such a non-functional properties of our system. all those non-functional properties or non-functional requirements can be tested over the given matrices which are given below. We can easily measure these properties or characteristics when the software is under testing. So what are these measures? The first measure is speed, then robustness, then portability, then we are having size, then we are having ease of use, and also reliability. So these are the some of the measures by which we can have analysis of the properties and the characteristics of our software which is under testing process. So let us discuss all these different kind of measures one by one. So let us start with first, that is speed. While measuring the speed property, we can observe the speed of processed transaction. Obviously, whenever we are going to work with our software, we are going to have a transaction with different kind of functionalities. So we are going to have the access to the different kind of information. We are going to assess the different kind of data. So at that time, we can measure the speed of our system with the help of this process transaction. We can also see the event response time and the event refresh time. So with the help of this event response time and event refresh time, we can measure the speed of our system. Then next is there, that is robustness. Robustness is nothing but time to recover after failure occurred. We all know that in our software system, different kind of defects may lead us to the failure of our system. So after that failure, we can recover that system or recover that module or recover that software after some time. The time that we required or we required to recover such a kind of problems is nothing but the robustness. The robustness can be defined with the help of this time that we require after the failure occurred. Then we can also have the probability of data correction on failure. After the failure of that system, many times there is probability of data corruption. So with the help of that probability, we can define or we can have the robustness of our system. Then we are having percentage of events causing failure. There are different events, they may lead us to the failure of our system. So we can also have the percentage of such an event which are going to cause failure in our system, and that will be our robustness of our system. Then next is there, that is portability. The number of target systems and the percentage of target dependent statement. With the help of this portability, we are going to find out the number of target system where our system is going to be deployed or where our system is going to be used. And with the help of that number of target system, we can find out the portability of our system. Then next is there, that is ease of use. This ease of use is nothing but the number of help frames which are going to be available in our software system. We all have submitted the different kind of application forms which are going to receive the different kind of information, just like your photos, just like your signatures, then your email address, right? So whenever we are going to insert such a kind of information, they can provide the help frames, and with the help of number of these help frame, we can say that that software is ease of use, or that software is providing the ease of use. The most of the time, whenever you are going to upload the different kind of files or the different kind of data files, at that time they are going to mention as an help frame. In that help frame, they mention just which type of file you just have to insert with that browse option, or which kind of files you can browse with that option. We can also measure the ease of use with the help of training time required. After providing training to use that software, the training time required can be used to measure the ease of use, that how much that software is easy for the user purpose. So this is nothing but ease of use. Then next is there, that is reliability. We all know that if a product has very less chance of failure, then that product can be called as a reliable product. So we can also call this reliability as a mean time of failure or mean time to failure, that is MTTF, or the probability of unavailability. And depending on this probability of unavailability and also the rate of failure occurrence, we can define the reliability of our software function or the software product. Okay, so these are nothing but the different attributes or the different points on which we can check our non-functional requirements or the specify the non-functional requirement. So next is there, that is size. We can have the size or we can measure the size of our software system with the help of read-only memory chips which are available in our system. And many times, if we are not going to use such a kind of ROM in our ROM chips in our software system, then that can be measured, or the software size can be measured on the number of lines that we have implemented in the code. So we can also measure the size of our read-only memory chips which are available in the system, and the size of our code, the number of lines in our code, and by using this we can measure the size of our system. So these are the different points with the help of which we just discussed that how the non-functional requirement can be specified against our software system to provide the